Hello, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here today. And before I start, I would like to ask you a question. How do you define yourself? Think of the one word that defines you. Is it your job? Your origins? Maybe your religion? Now I want you to think of it differently. How do you want to be defined? In the next 15 minutes, I want to show you how changing your perspective on this single question can completely change a life. And if after today at least one person in this room decides to pursue a dream, then my mission will be accomplished. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nevena. I was born in Bulgaria, the year we got out of the Soviet Union. Back in the days, our country was struggling with poverty. So my mother and we decided to run away and look for a brighter future in the Western world. So with a small backpack, we jumped on a bus and we started a journey crossing countries and borders I never ever imagined I would see in my life. Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, Slovenia, Italy, until our final destination, Nice, the south of France. During this journey, I saw the change between small, bumpy roads and this huge, sophisticated infrastructure. I already knew migrating here was a wise decision. So here I was, 15 years old, living in a trailer in the beautiful French Riviera without knowing a single word of French. We didn't know what to expect of this new life, but whatever it was, we were ready to face it, as long as we could make a living. Fortunately, my mom and we found a job very quickly, and we started to clean houses for a couple of euros per hour. We had no expectations on our working conditions. We were simply thankful to have a job. I started going to school and trying to learn French, really hard. And because of my Eastern accent, all the grammar mistakes I was making, other kids making fun of me, I developed this huge complex, an actual fear of speaking out loud. I was ashamed of who I was. I knew I didn't belong here. I am, and I will always be, an immigrant. This is what defines me. So every time I go clean those houses for what I consider to be very rich and successful people, since they can afford a maid, I kept wondering, what is it they have that I don't? I observed them very carefully. They eat and sleep just like I do. They go to the bathroom just like anyone else. Believe me, I was cleaning it. So I got obsessed. What is it they have that I don't? And one day I figured the best way to find out is to go ask them. How did you get so successful? And they tapped me on the head like a little puppy, thinking, no matter what I tell you, you will never get there. They defined me by my job and by my social status. Thankfully, people love to talk about themselves. So I heard all those stories about luck, about working really hard, about taking risks, seizing opportunities, losing everything. And I was listening to them and I thought to myself, that's not fair. That's not fair. I took a huge risk leaving my country. I lost everything, my family, my friends, the home where I grew up. And I worked pretty hard to learn French and to clean those houses. So this answer, not good enough. I ask again, what is it they have that I don't? What's the difference between them and me? And my community from Eastern Europe, they tried to calm me down. And they provided me with a very quick and obvious answer. The difference between them and me are my origins. I was born in an unprivileged environment, and I will die the same way. I will always be an immigrant. I will never be a native French speaker, and I will forever be the daughter of a housekeeper. So just stay calm, do your job, and accept that. At school, I shared my frustration of how my origins are holding me back. And my friends were very surprised to hear me say that. One of them actually told me, "Are you kidding me? To me, you're a genius. You speak English better than anyone else in class. You know how to write Cyrillic. How cool is that? And French is not your mother tongue, and yet you persist into coming to school every single day. Do you ever give up?" Wait, what? I mean, for the past couple of years, I've been seeing myself as the biggest loser in town. I was ashamed of who I was. And someone dares call me a genius? How is this possible? And that's when it hit me. It's all a matter of perspective. They were seeing strengths in me that I was choosing to ignore. And I was strongly focusing on weaknesses that were not necessarily considered as weaknesses. Turns out it's all a matter of perspective. What if I could transform my weaknesses into strengths, into opportunities? I had to find a place where it's a strength to be international, rather than a weakness to be an immigrant. A strength to speak English, rather than a weakness to not speak perfect French. And a strength to be willing to learn and to work really hard instead of a weakness of being young and inexperienced. And after some thinking, I found it. I found my happy place. International business schools. In a matter of minutes, I went from having zero ambition of going to university because I already had a job, to working really, really hard for the exams. And there it was, my biggest success so far. I got accepted into the one business school I applied. And I know what you're all thinking right now. It's cool you got accepted. How do you pay for it? And you're right, my mom and I, we didn't have any money for it. But thankfully, we knew people who did have money. Our customers whose houses we were cleaning. So we decided to ask them for a huge advanced payment on our cleaning fees. Why not? So first, I explained to them how inspired I got by their advice on taking risks and seizing opportunities. How this motivated me to get a degree and a qualified job. Why business schools are the right way for me personally to get there. And then last but not least, why we cannot do it without their financial help. And guess what? They agreed to give us this huge advanced payment so I could go to school. And of course, today I have to take the opportunity to thank them from the bottom of my heart, because they truly, fundamentally contribute to changing my life. So I started going to school along with doing my cleaning duties on evenings, weekends, and holidays. It was intense, but I had to keep up. I could not disappoint the people who invested in me. I was so focused on school, work, school, work, school, work, that I didn't have time for social life. But I also didn't have time to worry about my accent, about my origins, about my inferiority complex. I had work to do. And I knew that if I work hard enough now, I might get a chance to play hard later. So eventually I graduated successfully and I found a job. I started to sell software to businesses, door-to-door sales, because I still had to pay off my debts, right? For those of you who have done door-to-door sales, you know how hard it is. You get rejected every single day, all day long. And this is where I got my greatest lesson in life. Don't be afraid of rejection anymore. Just because I got rejected so much, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just part of life. Just move on. And after a couple of years of rejection, but also in success in sales, the best opportunity of my life came down to me straight from the internet. I was offered a job at a Silicon Valley tech company that's renowned to be the best in the industry. And this untouchable company chased me, the little Bulgarian, can you imagine? So for 7 years, I lived in Dublin, in Paris. I traveled to San Francisco, to Chicago, to New York. I lived my American dream. And I was surrounded by the brightest minds of the tech industry, who suddenly became my mentors. And those mentors never asked me, "Who are you?" They asked me, "Who do you want to be?" They made me realize that I had a choice to either define myself by my actions or to let others define me instead. I realized that people coming from wealthy, privileged families for whom everything seemed so easy in life, the opposite of me, I realized that those people, they carry their own doubts, their own limiting beliefs, their own fears, just like me. We are not all that different. It's all a matter of perspective. So I figured, why not completely change my perspective in life? I decided that my new definition of success is to dare pursue ideas that make me happy and proud, without the fear of rejection or failure. I made a strong commitment to myself to never again be held back by my limiting beliefs and to act as if everything is possible until proven otherwise. So I started doing all of these things outside of my comfort zone. For example, I learned about real estate investment and I acted on it. As a woman investing alone, you have no idea how many people advised me to stop because I would miserably fail. Try investing with your dad, try investing with your brother, maybe your boyfriend. And yet today, I followed this dream and I have built my own little real estate empire, so I don't have to worry about retirement for me or for my mother. Then I decided to start a company. Not multinational, not fundraising, not IPOing, just a local, ethical, and sustainable business that gives me purpose in life and makes me genuinely happy. And because it is going so well, I figured, what is this other dream that I have been oppressing, that I didn't dare to pursue out of fear of failure and rejection? So I decided to write a book in French, my little personal revenge. And the feedback I'm getting from readers is better than I could ever imagine. So I figured, why not send it to movie producers? Why not? My friends tell me, you're completely out of your mind. You know how many people try to sell their ideas? You get rejected. And I say, so what? Why fear rejection? Why assume I will fail without even trying? And as we speak today, believe me or not, a movie producer is reading my book. I don't know what will happen, but it doesn't matter. To me, it's already exciting. So now people come to me wondering, what is it I have that they don't? The same nonsense question I was asking myself back in the days, with the same bias, thinking that there must be a reason for things to be easier for me than for them. That I must come from a wealthy family. I must have a daddy who is a CEO. None of those people could ever imagine that I was living in a trailer and cleaning houses just a while ago. Hence the importance to define yourself the way you want to be defined. So if you waive the fear of failure, if you change your perspective, and if you start to measure success by the number of dreams you pursue, life becomes this ocean full of exciting opportunities. If you free yourself of your limiting beliefs, you will uncover this hidden talent within you and the incredible strength to pursue your ideas worth spreading. You don't know if your dreams are possible or not, so choose to act as if they are possible. Trust me, you might be very surprised. Thank you.